chemtrails? What are chemtrails?
Chemical trails, Daddy, and they're very bad.
I look up to the sky. Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why?
Hi, this is Russ Tanner from GeoEngineering Watch Radio, and we're here this afternoon coming to you live, hoping that as many people as possible are joining in with us this afternoon. We're trying to get a hold of Dane still once again. We're going to try to get him on the show. I'm not sure what happened, but he's probably busy doing a speech. He's probably out at one of these events, so I'm going to be trying to get a hold of him at one of these shows. Today, as you might know, is the global march against geoengineering. So I hope that a lot of people are out there. I've been talking to one of our administrators, Gary. I don't know if you're listening, Gary, but I've been talking to him. He's in Orlando with a group of people out there trying to make people aware, raise awareness about what's going on. What I think I'm going to do is I'm trying to get a hold of Dane, is I'm going to just take callers, open up the phone lines, and if you're out at a march or if you just have a question or just want to say something, please feel free to join in. I'd love to hear from you, and I will get Dane on the line here hopefully as soon as possible. But in the meantime, if you'd like to call in, the number to call in is 718-717-8296. That's 718-717-8296. And also you can listen to us. If you're listening right now, you're probably listening at ucy.tv. You can go to that website and listen to GeoEngineering Watch Radio every Saturday at 12 noon Pacific Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time. In the meantime, I'd like to hear from you. If you are out at an event and you have things going on, I'd like to hear from you. We do have a caller. Is this Gary by any chance? Hi. Who's the caller we have on right now that ends in 85? Caller with you.
This is Gary.
Hey, Gary, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I got a speaker who's speaking to someone right now. Let me see. He's able to talk. I'm calling from Orlando. I'm at the Global March Against Geoengineering and Earth Day. He's speaking to someone right now, and they told me he can speak with you. Do you want to come right back to me?
Yeah. Why don't you tell us? Yeah, he can. We can talk to him in a moment if you want. But why don't you tell us what's going on there in Orlando? How's it going?
We're just getting people to sign petitions, about the geoengineering, and some people, they're aware of it. They're aware of it. They know about the GeoEngineering Watch Forward website. They know about Dane, Wigington, and we're just passing out the flags, to them, they're aware of. Some people are aware of it, and others are just like they know something's going on. So we give them flyers and they sign notifications. And I'm glad to call them.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, how many people you have there? Are you reaching anybody? Are you making contact with people? How's it going in that respect?
I actually have reached people. I showed up with, I think it's a total of 18 people. They showed up. Some people come here from Miami. Some come from Spring Hill. Some people are here from Tampa. I'm from Tampa, and there's another person from Tampa. Cocoa Beach. So they're all scattered. There's no global march in Tampa or Miami, so I did like the lady said that she came from Miami to be here. As far as I said, would you come again? Because they don't have one in Miami. She said, I probably want to come to the one in Miami because this is the road too far. What's your car? There's a car coming by. So she came to this one. I said, thank you for showing up. I almost thought I wasn't going to make it with the gas, but I got some help. Over here, someone helped me out a little bit so I can get back to Tampa. So I got that flat, and I just used that money I paid just to come here. So I'm blessed. I'm thankful, that got a little bit of help with some gas money because I had some money, but I just didn't think I was going to make it back home. So I'll be able to make it back home.
Now I understand you've got a speaker. Now, can I ask who is the speaker who's there?
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can. He's speaking to someone. He's here 1 minute. He'll be here in a minute.
Okay. Good. Well, if anyone else,
he knows about GeoEngineering Watch website, and he's a good speaker. He knows Dane very well. I didn't hear that show. I'm on the phone. That he's here at the show. Hello?
Yep. Still here. Can you hear me all right? We're getting a lot of noise on your phone there.
One second. Let me get the sign just blue. Excuse me. It's windy here. I thought maybe if you can come back to me in 5 minutes or something.
Oh, that's fine. Just call back in when you're ready, Gary.
I put it on mute.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and put it on mute. We got a lot of background noise. Go ahead and put it on mute.
Okay.
All right, great. All right, we'll hear from Gary again. I'm going to try to get Dane on the line, and caller with your number that ends in 31. Who are we speaking with? Caller with your number you just called in, with your number that ends in 31. Who are we speaking with? Taking phone calls on GeoEngineering Watch Radio right now. If you'd like to call in, the number is 718-717-8296. For those who are joining us for the first time or who don't know about this subject, we are talking about what I often call the largest crime against humanity in human history. This is geoengineering. These are the lines you see coming out of the engines in the sky, the jets in the sky. Their engines are called high bypass turbofans, and these engines are just like prop engines in the sense that the big fan in the front of the engine that you see spinning when you're at the airport looking at your jet that you're about to board, that's just like a prop, except it's called a ducted turbofan. It's inside a duct. Those engines do not create trails. I've watched the sky since I was a child. I collected thousands of pictures of jets when I was young for a period of many years, and I never saw a trail come out of a high bypass turbofan engine. Never. These types of engines are not capable of producing this. And this is why when we see these trails in the sky, we have to ask ourselves, why are these types of engines today causing these trails to come out of these engines? And me, as someone who's sensitive, I smell and taste, as hundreds of people who have contacted me also do after they're spraying the sky. Hundreds of people have contacted me just like myself who can smell and taste maybe half an hour if they're flying really low or a couple hours after the spray begins, a metallic or a menthol or an acetone fingernail polish remover type taste and smell in the air. And it causes many people who've contacted me, including myself, tremendous inflammation and other health symptoms. And I've never experienced anything like this before in my life. Well, I want to get some more callers to call in, but first, let me see if I can get Dane back on the phone with us. I'm sure he's out at an event right now, so that's probably why having a little bit of trouble getting a hold of him, but I'm going to go ahead and try to get him on here. In the meantime, we have a caller with your number that ends in 31. Are you hearing me right now? Are you on? Caller with your number that ends in 31. All right, no problem. Those who want to help, we want to talk about today anything you want to. This is a global march against chemtrails and geoengineering, and I'd like to hear from you. If you're on site or if you're just calling from your home, please call in and let's chat about this. I think Dane is probably out at an event. That's why he's not reachable at the moment. But I'm going to go ahead and cover for him until we can get him on the line. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for some people to call in, the lines are clear, so I'd like to hear from you right now. 718-717-8296. Call in and chat with me. I'd love to hear from you right now. In the meantime, I want to talk with you about ways that you can reach people, because this is one of the most important things that we're doing today, is we need to reach people about this because we need critical numbers. We need enough people so that the government or the governments, I should say, because this is happening in many countries at the same time. The governments will not pay attention to you unless you have a sufficient number of people who are actively involved and knowledgeable about this and demanding that it stop. So some of the things that you can do is put a link in your email signature, or if you join a forum, put a link on your forum signature that links to geoengineeringwatch.org. These are some of the things you can do. You can also get business cards printed with one of our websites, geoengineeringwatch.org or globalskywatch.com, printed on them, or both, and drop those business cards off, put them on bulletin boards, all kinds of things that you can do. We love, it's very effective if you just go out with a sign and stand on a very busy road and hold something up that will notify the people passing by. Encourage them to go to one of our websites and get educated about this. It looks like we got Vincent who just called in, I think, through Skype. Are you here with us, Vincent?
Hi, Russ. Yes, I'm on the phone, and I'm calling in with a question that was sent to me in private. And they don't have a lot of faith that geoengineering is going on, but so I'll relay that question. But I'd also add to I'd like to add to that is that we define the parameters of the so-called contrails that obviously are chemtrails by default. They've got chemicals in them. They're caused by nucleation and quite obviously used to manipulate weather. But his question is, so given that chemtrails can be proven to exist beyond any doubt, what do you believe is their purposes? And also says that it must be expensive for the government to create these chemtrails. So why are they going to all the expense?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Vincent, before I answer that, or I attempt to put my best foot forward in answering that, do you have any thoughts you'd like to share about that yourself?
Yeah, I do. Looking at the history of how government operations work, military operations work, we see experimentation in this for quite some time. It's no secret. Manipulating the weather has been weaponized. It's used for economical purposes to capture rain, to bring crops, and it also appears that with the ingredients being dispersed, that some chemical companies are creating seeds that are resistant to the problematic aluminum and other chemicals that end up in the soil and the water. So as to chemtrails, they are contrails in their definition. They were supposed to, pretty much about 40,000 feet minus 40 degrees Celsius was a parameter for contrails. And we see these now. It's hard to do a search and not find anything that's saying that now. I mean, you really got to dig in, because most of them are saying it. Chemtrails contrails, can be created at ground level, which they've gone to a great degree to hide facts about what's going on in the sky above. Lives are just the order of the day. To me, it's quite obvious. You can see, especially when they're low flying and laying down grid patterns. Then you get a whiteout. It doesn't take much sense to figure out that it's an obvious program that's going on.
Yeah.
And I think there's many reasons why. There's not one simple answer, but I think the answer is simple in itself, that it is going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. I appreciate your input on that. Absolutely. And the thing is that being as somebody who's been a lifelong sky watcher, I know that I've never seen a trail come out of one of these engines, and I know how these engines work. They're turbine engines, which are a very common type of engine, and that's what the power plant is, and then what surrounds them is a blade, and the blade pushes air through the majority of the engine, which is about 80 to 85% of the air that goes through that engine is not combusted. It's pushed just like a prop jet now, or a prop plane. So to address that question about why are they doing this, let me give a little bit of background first. Now, this is something that I've studied for a long time. How does the world really work? You know, a few decades ago, I really started studying this subject because I really wanted to understand this. And if you understand the structure of a thing, you can understand how the thing works. That is the underlying premise. And what we have to understand is that in any country throughout history, we have a continuing pattern of the powerful industrialists or the powerful bankers in any culture, in any country, that eventually infiltrate governments, and they take over the control of governments. They start controlling elections, and they ultimately control the flow of information. And they do this because you can generate a tremendous amount of income, and you can wield a tremendous amount of power when you do this. There's possibly no more effective way to control a population than to gain control of their government. And gaining control of a government is not some kind of a far-fetched conspiracy theory. It is a historical fact that we've seen happen over and over and over again. And in the world today, we have a situation where very powerful industrialists have infiltrated governments of the world and control the flow of information through the mainstream news media. And so what happens is these people who want to have this power and control start exerting in developing new ways of producing income and new ways of securing their control over a population. And so what we have, and this goes much deeper, I know most of the people listening know and understand all this, but for those who don't, and for the person who wrote that question who's asking why are they really doing this, it really comes down to power and control. Through weather derivatives, if you can control weather, you can become tremendously wealthy. Weather control is not the only thing. If you can dumb down a population, if you can keep a population incapable of understanding or believing, or you can induce apathy in a population, then you will meet with very little resistance when you go through the process of corrupting a government. So once we understand that industrialists are in control, there are very wealthy families that have been doing this for a long time, and they wield control over governments, then it's just a natural progression that besides controlling the government in terms of the votes in the election process, and besides controlling governments in where they direct their contracts, like for instance, if you could get a contract to build a bridge or build a missile or build bombers, and you could have that money funneled to your company, you could make tremendous amounts of money. They also want to keep the population as docile as possible so that as this corruption becomes more well known, as it does leak out, the population feels powerless, helpless, or fearful. Vincent, were you going to say something?
Yes, and to answer the question about how they afford to pay for this, all the expense, and as you were saying, and I'd sum up by saying that with all that control, all the corporations, the rich industrials, all tie together, so they have this control mechanism. Then enter the central bank, and I would suspect that most of the money used for the expense is just creative money, anyways, and just another way because they have to keep the Ponzi scheme up, so they have to keep dumping dollars. So that's one way, like the missing how much money from the Pentagon on 9/11 that was announced, the day before. Also, I would say a lot of these chemicals are probably waste that they'd have to, like fluorine, for instance, or fluoride, they put in water, for instance, just industrial waste. So I would say that they're saving money by dumping them out over the skies instead of having to put them out in some chemical waste dump or something. So
that's exactly true.
The idea of expense isn't hard to fathom at all.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that we have, this is one thing that I know our regular listeners know and understand. But one thing that people who are new to this, we need to help them understand over time. And it's hard. This is a hard subject to approach with people because it is so huge.
I have a message from Corey, and Dane's trying to call in. She said that he tried reaching you. Said your fax or something is blocking the line. So we make sure he does have the right number.
Gotcha. Okay.
717-8296.
Okay, let me ask everyone to hold on for a second, and I will try to reach Dane and get him on the line right now. So everybody hold on for just a second here.
So I'll just talk a little bit till you come back, Russ. Also, it must be expensive. You said, what is the purpose? So I think Russ covered that pretty good. One aspect is no telling what all the purposes are, first of all, for that. But some of it obviously is used probably the same way that fluoride is used in drinking water. Manipulation of plant life. Nothing yet.
Oh, yep, there's a lot of things going on. Let me try to get Dane on here if he's trying to call in. I'm having a little trouble connecting to him, so just hold on a sec, guys, and we'll get Dane in here in just a second. All right, let me see if we can get this going here. Hey,
Hello?
hello there. We're trying to get hold of Dane. Is Dane in?
No, you need to call him on his cell phone.
On his
You
cell
check his.
Okay, let me call him right back on his cell phone. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, bear with us. We're trying to get Dane on.
Hello?
Hi there. I'm sorry. I'm trying to call Dane's mobile. I think.
Yeah, it's. I can give it to you. It's
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry, I can't get to the phone right now. Want to leave your name, short message, and your phone number?
Okay. I don't know what it is, but we're having trouble getting Dane on the line here, friends. So just hang with us. If you want to call in, please go ahead and try to call in. The number is 718-717-8296. We're just talking about the reason for geoengineering, reason for spraying the skies. And of course, anytime the industrialists do something like this, they always need to proclaim that it's for in the best interest of the public. And we have learned better. Those of us who have studied this subject for a long time, those of us who have studied corruption and the way that it works, we know that that's how it always happens. So let me see. I'm trying to ring Dane here.
Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess for some reason it keeps coming to this line. Let me try.
It's.
Russ.
Hey, Dane, we got you finally.
Yeah, I was sure. I tried to ring you back immediately, but something was on your phone line's on fax. Are we on air?
Yep, we're live right now. We've got everybody's here. Everybody's live, so you're good to go. Go ahead.
My apologies for everybody. I missed Russ's call by about about 2 seconds, literally, and was not able to get back through. So I apologize for that. I'm at a large festival in Northern California. It's the biggest event here. It's where we chose to make our stand with our booth. Harry Leisner and several other activists there now helping us. Signs, we're giving out DVDs. There's probably 1,500 people here, maybe 2,000 total, and it was the best place to make our stand here. We couldn't compete with any other events, and there was no point in trying. So anyway, a lot of people here. In fact, Russ, when you called, I was trying to break a conversation off with a personal friend of Merle Haggard's, for those who know who Merle is, and Willie Nelson and that crowd. Merle certainly knows this issue's going on, and this person I was talking with and trying to break the conversation, which I was again a second late answering your call, trying to arrange meetings with Merle to possibly put together something for some sort of farm aid gathering to disclose geoengineering to all the farmers. And certainly we know the Willie Nelson crowd, the Merle Haggard crowd, very, very connected to that community, which is being absolutely slaughtered in California by the ongoing aerosol operations, which right now above our heads, completely covered white canopy above a few lower level cumulus clouds, trees dead in the city that's known for trees, at the city hall, huge modern building. Russ?
Yeah, absolutely. We can hear you fine. Same thing here.
I thought I heard something in the background, maybe somebody else's Skype. But anyway, big modern building, landscape in a city that normally gets abundant rain, lots of trees, now lots of dead and dying trees within the area. I want to get right to calls, Russ. I know a lot of people are at different events, hopefully today, trying to get the word out. But I want to stress again, it doesn't end today. Whatever does or doesn't happen today, there's tomorrow and the next day and the day after. This is an everyday battle. And the work with the attorneys, I was on the phone this morning with the front attorney for action that we're going to try to implement very soon. And it looks promising. The trajectory that he's laid out is very promising. That's about all I can say for the moment until we get further along in that process, which should be soon. So anyway, I know this is an ongoing battle for everybody. Everybody's tired. I'm tired and extremely battle fatigued as everybody else is as well. But that's when we have to keep our strides. That's when it's most important, when you're rounding the last turn and you're heading for the tape and you want to stop. Everything in you wants to stop and rest, but you can't. And you know, once you cross that line, if you kept your stride and you didn't back off at all, you'll know it was all worth it. We have to keep that attitude. Russ, if you can, you've already given the phone line calling number probably.
I have. I'll give it again, and we do have callers waiting. The phone number, if you want to call in, is 718-717-8296, and there's still plenty of room for callers to call in and get on the air. We have a caller that ends in phone number 09. Who do we have on the phone with us right now? Caller with your number that ends in 09. Are you still with us? Okay, we'll move on. Caller that ends in 85. I believe this is Gary. Gary, you on right now? Gary's got to unmute his phone, so I'll give him a second and see if he's on. Gary, are you there?
While we're waiting, Russell, one thing to cover too, again, for people that you got anybody? Go ahead.
Yep, this is Gary, Dane. Gary's in Orlando, I believe, at an event down there, and he's got some people out there marching around. They've got a speaker. So what's happening, Gary?
Okay, 1 second. I got him right here. He's right over here. He's going to speak right now. Okay. What's your name?
We might have a little too much background noise for us to be intelligible.
It's at the event. It's got a lot of background noise. But here it is. You want me to take it on loudspeaker? Is that okay? Maybe that would help. Would that help?
Probably just having it on regular phone is good. Go ahead and give it to him. We're live on the air.
I'm sorry. Is that better?
Yeah, that's
better.
Fine.
Okay, go ahead and loudspeaker.
Give us a brief rundown, Jerry.
He's ready for you. Right here. Oh, that's not getting the pictures right now. They're taking a picture right now.
All right, well, that's okay, Gary. That's
Gary-
okay. Just
Yeah, Gary, you can give us a brief rundown. I want to get to as many calls as we can. If you can give us a brief rundown real quick, we'll get on.
Okay. I came from Tampa. I drove to Orlando today, and I just wanted to attend local march with GeoEngineering. I wanted to, show I'm a member too. That I'm concerned about this. So I wanted to show up. So there was over 20 people, including me, here at Orlando.
Certainly, I'm having a little trouble hearing you, Gary, but certainly important to show up today, tomorrow, the next day, and every day thereafter until this is out of our skies. So, again, I appreciate what you're doing. I know a lot of other people around the country doing the same. A lot of people here. What's interesting in Northern California at this event, again, an event that's attended by several thousand environmentally minded people, astounding how few even look up. People supposedly connected to the environment, connected to the natural world, they don't even look up. But we're breaking some of those barriers down now, but we got to keep it up every single day. So anyway, having trouble hearing you a little bit, Gary, but Russ, maybe we could grab I appreciate it, Gary, I really do. We're just having a little trouble hearing you. So keep us posted after. Maybe post some pictures of where you're at, and we'll get a better idea from that.
Okay, I'll put it on Russ's. I'll send it to Russ.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks for all you're doing.
Thank you.
all right, very good, Gary. And Dane, I wanted to mention also that we're going to try to connect with Gary afterward and do a live stream through the Global Skywatch live stream. So if anybody wants to join in, I hope you don't mind me mentioning this, Dane, because I would like to invite anyone else who's at a live event. Go ahead and call in to our live stream after this show, and we'll try to get you on and kind of make a community for everybody so we can let people see what's going on out there and get a feel for what's going on.
Absolutely. We're filming here as well, too. It's something I'll post later. But, with the booth and the signs out and the materials there, people are comfortable that way. And, it's the activists there at the booth are very busy, which, again, that's what I was engaged in when I was a second late grabbing your first attempt to reach me. But absolutely, Russ, all for it.
That'd be great. And so anybody who's at an event, all you need is a cell phone or all you need is a computer. You can Skype in to me or you can just send me an email, give me a call, and I'll get you on the live stream ASAP so we can make that work out and get people connected. Caller with your number that ends in 09. Are you live with us now? Can you hear us? Caller with your number that ends in 09. Are you with us? Okay, that's okay. Caller, not caller, but Kim. We have Kim with us through Skype. How you doing, Kim?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Kim.
I've got an extra window open. If you want to give me just one quick second, I'll go ahead and close that because I'm going to get a little extra noise coming in. I won't be able to hear you. There we go. I'm all closed up. I can hear you good now.
Okay. You have any news for us? What's happening in your neck of the woods there, Kim?
We don't have a lot of people, but we were trying to get out for a noontime protest, and the ride failed to come through for us. As you guys know, I had a car accident a couple weeks ago. I have no vehicle of my own, but I have about 15 or 20 protest signs, all on big yard. They're on yard side stands. We've got baby strollers and a luggage rack with clothespins and coat hangers. All our stuff is standing by the door ready to rock and roll. So we're just waiting on a girlfriend to last minute decide to join us, and she's going to give us a ride downtown, and we're going to go wake up some people.
Wonderful.
I appreciate everything you're doing. We've seen you out in the snow and all kinds of other adverse conditions. Again, very grateful for everything you've done to help sound the alarm. And I know there's still a lot of resistance out there in the overall community and even in the environmental community, which I mentioned here in Northern California. Still a lot of resistance to this issue. It's simply too scary to face. And we look at what internationally recognized psychoanalysts like Scott Peck, clinical psychologists, who stated, for those who are unfamiliar with his book, it's called The Road Less Traveled. The hallmark of a healthy mind is an unswavering willingness to face the truth no matter how dire. That's a healthy mind. Those that do not want to face the truth, they have issues. And again, this is most of our society. So for those of us that meet this resistance every single day, remember, you're the one that has the healthy, functioning, compassionate mind and they're willing to face the truth. And the resistance that people have, again, it is breaking down because they're being forced to face what's unraveling around them. And until this point, until the impact of what's happening is unignorable, people have chosen to stay in that denial. But again, that the resistance we've all met in our daily battles, keep planting those seeds because they'll be forced to sprout soon, as we've talked about before. Kim, thanks for the update from where you're at. We'll try to get to a few more if we can, because I know there's a lot of people out there, but thanks for everything you do. I know you've done it in all sorts of tough conditions, and again, our gratitude to you, Kim.
Yes, Kim, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad you guys are giving us some credible data that we can take out there with us. I'm going to be taking about 100 flyers, and I hope to get rid of all of them today. Take care, and bye-bye, guys.
Thanks, Kim.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kim. Kim does a tremendous amount of work. I'm so grateful. She helps us. She's just key for our success of our group, and I can't thank her enough. Call her with your number that ends. Oh, go ahead, Dane.
One more thing, and then you grab that phone, Russ. Another update, again, and I can't give a lot of detail with this now until it's in hand, but I had a conversation last evening with a physicist that's solidly in our court. There may be some peer-reviewed publication coming on our issue soon. If that happens, that will put a big break in the dam. So again, there's a lot of wheels turning right now on this issue. A lot of people waking up. So for those in the field that feel like there's nobody else marching with us, they are. There are people behind the scenes that are absolutely able to help this issue tremendously, and they're trying. And there's a lot of aspects of that might come together soon. So again, I don't want anybody to lose heart. We are close to some pretty big breakthroughs if everybody can just keep their stride.
Absolutely, and nobody should quit ahead of time and think everything's taken care of. We need to push harder now than ever, as you always say, Dane.
That's right. That's exactly right.
All right, caller, with your number, we've got 2 callers that end in 08, so we're going to look for the one right now that ends in 408. Caller, are you with us right now?
Yes, it's Corey.
Hi, Corey.
Hi, Corey.
Good morning, or good afternoon, actually. I was just wanting to report a situation going on here in Arizona where we're having difficulty getting through to Representative Gosar. And his name's Representative Paul Gosar. We've been working for years, actually, to communicate with him, and he's been very rude. He's well aware of the investigation that we started with the filaments that fell here on November 5th, and we've been in communication with him and the EPA and so forth. But this week there was an incident. He was at a forum, and some very, very respectable activists from here, Al DeChico, Luca Zana, Angelique, other people showed up to speak about geoengineering, and he was incredibly rude. He started out by saying, he said, who are science guys here? And he demanded that they produce some peer-reviewed science, and was just extremely, extremely dismissive. So it is on YouTube. You can find it there, and I actually will post it to Dane's page so people can find it to see his behavior.
I watched the video in question, and you're exactly right. And his arrogance was astounding. And for people like that, again, there's a lot of people in the field that are communicating with their representatives, and this is an important point, I believe, to bring up to those representatives right up front, is that the public is waking up to this issue, Mr. or Mrs. Representative, and when they're fully awakened, try to get these people's statements on the record, like the video that you have, and point out to these people that once the public is awakened, they will be extremely unhappy, to say the least, with people like you who are denying this incredibly dire issue, so that you're making clear to them that they will, at some point soon, be held responsible by a public that is furious at what has happened and furious with those who have helped to hide these crimes. It's important to point that out to these people because they think they can lie and deny with impunity and point out to them that they will not have that impunity much longer. The public will hold them responsible. And perhaps what may be like Nuremberg-type trials if we get to that point soon enough. It's important to point that out because otherwise these people feel they can say whatever they want, lie about whatever they want, and that's not okay. The public is not going to be okay with that, and you need to point it out.
I agree with you, and that is the next message to them. And the other thing I would add to it is that there's also a state senator, Kelly Ward, who we had a large meeting with in Kingman, Arizona last June. Over 100 concerned citizens showed up and spoke. And they also, as a group, we produced a 6-stack of certified blood result, tests and so forth. Senator Ward is a physician. She's a practicing emergency room physician as well as Senate. And Representative Gosar is a dentist. So these two have medical backgrounds. They know darn well what these toxins do to, the human system. And anyway, it was really ugly. And a couple weeks ago, some of these same activists, I think this is important to note, also showed up to speak to him at a Tea Party forum. And he jumped off the stage, said, okay, let's go look at this guy. He came back in less than a minute, jumped up on stage, took the podium. He was extremely agitated. He lambasted them and said, thank you for, quote, contaminating this forum. He refused to speak to him afterwards, refused to take their materials that they had for him. And the one woman who spoke, her name is Kristen. She was the media director for Mojave County Tea Party, and she was dismissed from her position by the Tea Party for speaking about this issue because Gosar's office called the chairman and, basically gave him hell. So anyway, we're working hard.
Look, just to say really quick, in these kind of events, as much as possible, people, whenever they have this kind of encounter, you have to record it. You have to film it, record it in some manner, so that that can be.
Both were recorded, and both are on YouTube.
Good, because again, and then notice should be drafted in writing to those people who are responsible for that kind of a dismissal, pointing out to them that the effort is ongoing and increasingly successful in waking up the population on this. And once the population is awake, they will be absolutely furious with all those who have helped to hide these incredibly dire crimes, the most significant environmental issue on our planet, the most significant health issue on our planet. It's just that notice has to be given back to those people so that they think about what they're doing, so that they realize they can't do it with impunity, not for much longer.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to let you go, but I wanted to report because I'm incredibly grateful and proud of these activists for continually working on this and doing a really good job. The other thing I'll say is everyone was appropriate. They used the science terms. There was some blowback later with some articles that one said that Arizona is the hotbed of conspiracy theorists talking about chemtrails. And so anyway, we're making an impact though, and we'll just keep working. But thank you both.
On that note, Corey, while I still got you, on that note, and it's extremely important what you brought up as well, the use of the science terms. I did an interview yesterday with Greg Hunter, former CNN reporter. So that'll be aired next week. And with Greg, when you're pointing out to people, again, the importance of using the science terms and not the chemtrail term, it's important to tell them why that's important as well, because sometimes people think you're just caught on certain semantics that don't matter. And like in Greg Hunter's case, when I pointed out to him off air after the interview, the importance of that is because if people go to search the issue, and I know you know this, Corey, I know you know this, Russ, and a lot of people listening know, but it's important to re-point it out to people that when they search the issue on a term that's non-scientific, they get exactly nowhere, straight to the dead end that's been designed to be connected to that term. And so, anyway, in Greg's case, I was just using him for an example. Once I pointed out the why, he completely got it, and was in full agreement. So, again, the importance of using the science terms, Corey, thanks for bringing it up because it's extremely important.
It is.
Totally agree.
Thank you much.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Dane, for that. You know, I would just want to contribute this, is that when you see someone in a public position that has a violent or very over-exaggerated reaction to this subject, that indicates to me that they know something and there's fear involved. If they truly thought this was just silly, they would treat it as something silly and say, no, excuse me, let's just get on to other subjects. But we've seen many of these people who have these just violent or really aggressive negative reactions, and it just makes me believe, it just really indicates to me that they really do know about this, and there's probably a lot of fear going on inside them when we bring it up.
Exactly. And they feel somehow if they can somehow shut you up, maybe that fear will dissipate a little bit in their mind. And I agree with you fully, Russ. That's when you see the strong reactions from people.
Yeah, and it kind of goes along with the idea that, you know, the truth first is ridiculed, then it's violently opposed, and then it's accepted as self-evident. And when you see somebody violently opposing it, that's the last desperate attempt before it becomes self-evident. So keep pushing, keep pushing.
To back up and look at the bigger picture again, to convey the gravity of our situation, a lot of things have happened that people have lost sight of, and they would be well to remember that the steps that we know the government has taken in preparation for what is likely now very close, the purchasing of 2.4 billion rounds of 40 caliber hollow point ammunition. This is an astounding amount of ammunition. It's about 7 rounds of ammunition for every single United States citizen. Why the hell does our government need that much 40 caliber hollow point, which has only one purpose? The GPSing of our homes, our individual residences have been GPSed in the 2010 census. They hiked into my property twice. Once wasn't enough. They hiked 3/4 of a mile in from the nearest road to my mountaintop to GPS my doorstep. Why would they do that? There's absolutely no reason to do that except to have that data for the point in time when they want to round up dissenters, when they want to perhaps use drones for terrorizing the population. There's no reason for them to GPS. I tried to reach the Census Bureau, got the complete runaround. There was never any rational answer given for the reason that they GPSed everybody's doorstep. This is all preparation. The power structure is absolutely preparing for what can't be hidden much longer, and I don't believe they'll be able to carry this out. Whatever their plans are, and they have many, if we can reach critical mass of awareness, again, and people in the military who are expected to carry this out, who I know are learning about this issue. I've heard from them, from people who just got out, like Mario Ramirez, who's been a big help and I think will be an ongoing help in this battle, and others who have contacted me, a couple even still in service right now. The word is traveling quickly about this issue, what's going on, and what the government's really using our brothers in service in the military, what they're being used for. So again, we have to reach critical mass, and then all these plans that those in power have tried to put in place, the purchasing of ammunition, the GPSing of our residences, all that will not amount to much if we can simply wake up our military brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
You know what's really interesting, Dane, is about 5 years ago, the military awarded a contract to Airbus for the manufacture of 179 new tanker aircraft. These are aircraft that are customized to have the ability to carry fuel. And this was just interesting, and there was public outcry because it was given to a European company. Why didn't the U.S. military keep manufacturing in the United States? So they switched it to a split contract between Boeing and Airbus. There was still outcry, and lately they seem to be trying to say that it's all just going to Boeing. But the question is, what is the purpose of needing to increase our military fleet of tankers by 50%? What war are we involved in? What air
the overall tanker fleet, Russ, to add a few more numbers to that, in 2000, the active airborne tankers number was about 400.
Yep.
By 2012, it was up to about 1,600 total. Now, whether others were recruited from different areas, I don't have the figures on that, but the tanker fleet was increased over 300%. Why? Again, and the retrofitting of aircraft, it appears to be going on in a number of locations. I was contacted from someone who was in a retrofitting facility in Israel in this particular case. I've had a couple reports we have not been able to verify that George Air Force Base in Southern California also retrofitting. And again, the question comes up with people again and again and again, well, why would they do this? How many of us have heard that and how many times? And if you point out to people who ask this question, why would they, the power structure, blow up pristine islands in the South Pacific just to see what would happen? Why would they continue right now to build nuclear power plants when one facility, Fukushima, of course, may kill us all, and yet we have about 30 nuclear power plants on the drawing board right now around the globe, 30 more, and there's 400 facilities already. There is no sanity in this equation, absolutely none. This is a cancer consuming its own host because there's a power structure involved that's clinically insane with obsessions they can't fulfill, obsessions for power and control of a population that doesn't want to know. Again, back to the hallmark for a healthy mind, there's a population that is not concerned for the common good. They've been trained not to be concerned for the common good. And that paradigm will be broken one way or another soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely. When you're ready for callers, let me know. But it is crazy, and all the tankers. What do we need all these tankers for? All right, great. Caller with your number that ends in 08. Are you with us? Caller, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Who's this?
This is Brian from just north of Detroit, Michigan, and I just want to let you know that you guys are off UCY TV. I couldn't hear you more on the radio program.
Now, that broke up a little bit. Frank, can you repeat that, or Russ, can you repeat it? Because I didn't quite get it on my end.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you guys on UCY anymore. That's why I called in, so I could hear you guys. When I was listening to UCY on the radio program, it just went dead. It was like you guys just cut out.
Oh, really? That is interesting.
That's why I called in, so I could hear what was going on. Actually, that's when you guys were talking to Kim.
At some point, a lot of people, even within our own ranks, it's hard to make ourselves remember that we're going to wake up one morning and everything's going to be different. You're not going to see some kind of warning out in the horizon from a great distance where you have lots of time to plan. We're going to wake up one morning, the internet's not going to work, and a lot of things aren't going to work, and all hell's going to break loose. I mean, this is going to happen fast and furious when the power structure starts to play some cards, and it looks like they're shaping up to play those cards quite soon. We have the military exercises coming up and so forth, so not sure what's going on with our station right now. Russ, maybe...
No, we're actually, according to the people, online here, most of them are still working. It looks like the chat. Maybe a few have gone dead, so I'm not sure what's happening, but it seems like we still do have people listening. So,
okay, it went dead on my end. So, just thanks you guys for all you do, Dane, Russ. I appreciate everything you do, and we're trying to wake people up here around Detroit. So,
thank you, Frank. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right, guys. Keep up the good work. Talk to you later.
All right.
Thanks.
You too. Thank you so much. Caller with your number that ends in 40. Are you with us?
Yeah, guys. It's Steve Chamberlain from Alaska.
Hello, Steve.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just want to let you guys know that my efforts up here, I feel like they're paying off. The people in my community are speaking about it more. People are coming and asking more questions. I really see that it's making a difference. And, today I wasn't able to attend a big event or a gathering, but I definitely am stepping up my efforts with my pizza box campaign. And throughout the day and this evening, I'm going to be approaching as many people as I possibly can. Even though I do it every day, today I feel like I'm going to step it up just a notch. And it's making a difference.
But
we are getting close.
You're in the trench. I'm sorry, Steve, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to accolade you because you're in the trench every single day. Every single thing you're doing, it's not a once every 6 months or once a year thing for you. It's an every single day thing, and that's what we need. And the kind of work you've done up there, and with people who, just like everywhere else, want to ignore it, try to ignore it, but eventually realize they're not going to be able to ignore it. So your persistence is paying off, and I salute you for that, Steve. Absolutely salute you.
Persistence matters. I mean, there are people that I've approached once a week with this over several months, and every week they get closer and closer to accepting and understanding that this is really happening. So persistence matters, everyone needs to be in this battle every day, at least to some extent. Try and approach a couple people every day. You can't just do this once a month or twice a year. You have to be in the battle every day.
Exactly. And the denial, it's so ingrained in so many people. It takes time to break down. And that kind of constant effort that you put out up there is, I bet, will have ever increasing results. And I hope a lot of people can take your model and run with that. And we'll all, the rest of us are marching as fast as we can on this end too, Steve. But I'm sure grateful for all your efforts and any updates.
I'm still working on an article or a video to show everybody what I'm doing. But this is a great way to use pizza boxes, or anybody who owns a small restaurant. You can.
If you could do a YouTube like that would be really, really helpful. If you can just 5 minutes of you talking with your customers, showing the pizza box, showing your location, you on the camera explaining what you've been doing, the results you've had, that would be really, really helpful. So I hope you can get something like that done and get it to us as soon as you can.
I sure will. I mean, I have a busy life and my restaurant's real busy, but I just want people to know that I'm in this fight every day. I never take a day off. Never.
As is with the rest of us. I mean, if you want to feel solace doesn't exist in hiding from this issue. It exists in facing it head on every single day. And for every person, Steve, I know you will relate to this feeling, and Russ and a lot of people listening, for every person that comes back to you and says, I get it now, I get it, and you've had a part in expanding their field of vision, does that not give solace in a world that's
good? People do come back to me, and I've actually had a couple people come back and were mad at me and said, I didn't want to know about this. Why did you tell me this? Very few, just a couple, but I've had a lot of people that came back and thanked me, and it really feels good to know that I reached someone. And I had to force it on them. I had to tell them, sometimes they'll get it on their pizza box, and these people order a pizza once a week. So for a whole year now, every time they got a pizza, they've seen your website. And eventually they go to it. Eventually they break down and they say, I got to check this out. And it works.
Even for those who are angry, even the ones who are angry at you, you've done them a service. Whether they know it or not, whether they realize it or not, they will at some point. If you've expanded their field of vision, however uncomfortable it was for them, you've absolutely helped them in their journey of life. If life's not about growing, then it has no purpose, but it is about growing, and growing is painful. Facing difficult truths is painful, but if you've helped them to that point, even if they're angry about it at the moment, Steve, you still help those people as well.
Even the ones that still have some denial are getting closer, because every time I meet them, or if I see them once a week or once every 2 weeks, they got a new question, something new, or they're looking at a different aspect of the whole thing, and that's good. They're investigating.
It absolutely is good. And again, if you can document that, in fact, we can help with editing, whatever you need. But if you get footage, we'll help completely on this. And Steve, I'd really like to get that out there.
Yes, Steve, thank you for what you're doing. I also want to know.
I'm going to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. For people who are in the chat room, I just posted a bunch of pictures, a link to a bunch of pictures that show what Steve is doing and the work he's doing. We only have about 60 seconds left for another caller. So caller, with the number that ends in 61, are you with us? Caller with the number that ends in 61, are you with us? Okay, guess not. Caller with 09, are you with us? Okay, I think
we don't have anybody, Russ. Let's tie it up here and leave with a final note to everybody. Make every single day count. There's always some stone you haven't overturned, someone you haven't talked to, some avenue you haven't gone down yet to try to plant a seed. Do it from your home computer. I know a lot of people aren't comfortable meeting face-to-face with others yet. That's okay. Do it from your home computer. Use our flaming arrow link on the homepage of GeoEngineering Watch in the upper left. Email that out to autism groups, Alzheimer's groups, farm groups. Every single day you can launch flaming arrows to start awareness.
That's absolutely right. This is GeoEngineering Watch Radio. We're here every Saturday at 12 noon Pacific time at UCY.TV. Please join us next Saturday. Stay at work. Both constituents.
Just wanna feel
skateboard, and you're listening to UCY.tv.